I love, two words that start with the same letter. Love that. I don't like to have a word end with the same letter that the next word starts with. For example, in the song, Our Song, it was supposed to be when you're on the phone and you talk real low. But I was like, I don't like the real low. So it's turned into when you talk real slow. Certain words just like fly for me. And I think one of the reasons I like to take either age-old cautionary sort of phrases or things that you've heard in books, films, kind of these classic lines, and then repurposing them, inverting them, or like redefining them in some way is because I sort of love the combination of modern vernacular and sort of old world or classic timeless speak. So in the song The Fate of Ophelia, there's a lot of sort of modern terminology and speak and kind of common phrases from the way that we talk now. But there's also, like in the bridge, there's a line from Hamlet that I repurposed. I really gravitate towards juxtaposition and polarity in a line, right? So, hey, what could you possibly get for the girl who has everything and nothing all at once? Our coming of age has come and gone. You take one word that's at the beginning of the phrase and then you take its opposite. Because ultimately, like, we are all filled with polarity, hypocrisy, these kind of battling features and factors that make up our jagged personalities. I have my phone and I have this file where I'll just be like, I know I like that, or I know I like that word, or I know I like that question. And then when I'll go into a session, I don't have social media on my phone. Like, it looks like I'm just endlessly scrolling, but I'm scrolling through the words in my file. If we're in the middle of writing a song, I'm searching for a perfect line that I thought of 4 years ago at 3 a.m. I think the importance for me of a bridge, it just feels like we're painting a picture, we're setting a scene. We have this opportunity as a songwriter to tell an entire story, an entire movie, or a very detailed description of one scene in a movie, or a very nuanced dynamic between people, or a complicated emotion. And we have only so long to do this, I've written some really long songs in my life, but for the most part, they're between 3.5 and 4 minutes. You can start like painting the picture in the verse. You can get to the heart of it at the chorus, but then the bridge can be where you zoom back, you walk 20 feet back, and you see what this entire painting was supposed to be. Like, you've seen brushstrokes, you've seen the color tones, but the bridge can be when you step back and you feel everything that piece of art was supposed to make you feel. That's just how I feel about bridges. I came up as a songwriter in Nashville where structure is a huge part of how you effectively tell a story, right? You go verse, chorus, second verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. Maybe you repeat that first verse if you want to pull at some heartstrings, if it makes sense. Now, that's something that I absolutely subscribe to, that idea that it's, structure is important, but I think that when you write enough songs, and at least in my case, the intuitive part of your songwriting brain can kind of create a new structure that's not as classically what you've been taught. Like, Jack Antonoff is a collaborator of mine and one of my best friends. We established this thing that we love to do, and we call it the rant bridge. I could point to examples like Out of the Woods, Is It Over Now, Cruel Summer, and oftentimes we love these rant bridges where it's basically like stream of consciousness, endless pouring out of emotion, intrusive thoughts, like blended with metaphor, with discussion, with shouting. Like, you want this rant bridge to feel the most intense of what that feeling is that you're trying to bring them back. So we'll go, verse, chorus, rant bridge, sometimes like a little post-coda to that rant bridge, last chorus, bring the rant bridge back, maybe with the chorus chords underneath it. Me a track during COVID, and me immediately knowing that it needed to be about how I felt as a performer and an entertainer within this moment when entertainment and art has effectively shut down. I'm still gonna stand on this tightrope. I'm still up on the trapeze. I'm still gonna try to do tricks for you. But at the same time, being a person in the public eye, I've really begun to realize that you are a mirror. Like, you are a mirror for your fans, for the media, for people on the internet, for just random, just people who don't even really care about your music, but they know who you are. However they feel about themselves and their life will be projected onto how they perceive you. And who makes art is a mirror ball. And that's part of why I've been able to keep my wits about me through all this, because I know that. And I'm really kind of aware of that dynamic, but I'm still endlessly fascinated by people, by the human experience, by why people are the way they are, by the ways that they feel emotion. I think that's what keeps us connected, even though, you can make these kind of like shockingly vulnerable confessions within a song by being like, I've never been a natural. All I do is try. And you say that at first, and I remember writing that and being like, oh my God, this feels like, do you want to say this? And I'm like, actually, I feel like a lot of people feel that way. That always overrides my discomfort with if a line feels too true, because I don't really think that there's anything that's too true. The whole thing with All Too Well.
You can almost sense that shift in energy when someone goes from explaining their life to actually living it. The way she describes things isn't loud or exaggerated. It's soft, almost like she's trying not to disturb the peace she's found. And that says a lot on its own, because Taylor Swift's world has never really been quiet. It's always been movement, pressure, attention, expectations from every direction. But in the way she speaks here, there's a different rhythm. Like she's found something that doesn't demand anything from her, but still supports her in a steady way. It's not about big dramatic declarations. It's more about the small things that build trust between two people, the kind of understanding that doesn't need to be explained over and over again. When she reflects on that connection, it feels grounded. Not like a fantasy, not like something out of reach, but something very human. The kind of relationship where you don't have to switch versions of yourself, depending on who's watching. Where you can just exist, be tired, be happy, be normal, and still feel accepted in that state. And maybe that's why it connects with people so easily, because it strips away the celebrity layer for a moment. It reminds you that even someone living a life watched by millions still looks for the same thing everyone else does: a sense of stability, a sense of being understood without having to constantly explain yourself. There's also this quiet appreciation in the way she speaks, like she's aware that what she has feels rare, not in a flashy way, but in a grounding way. And instead of trying to overanalyze it or turn it into something bigger than it is, she just sits with it, lets it be what it is. At the end of it, what stands out isn't the fame or the names involved, it's the feeling underneath it all. That calm recognition when someone fits into your life in a way that doesn't feel forced. And hearing that from someone like Taylor Swift makes it feel even more real, because it takes something universal and puts it into a very personal, very human frame.